Welcome to Off the Beaten Path. I'm your host, Tadre Delora Moignet, and today we are here at Moshions in Kigali, Rwanda. Now, when you come to Rwanda, you can speak 4 different languages: Kinyarwanda, Swahili, Francais, and English. Now, one of the consistent motifs that you'll see throughout contemporary Rwandese design is the imigongo. And imigongo is a traditional art form created by women using cured cow dung and also natural plant dyes. You can see these geometric patterns throughout Rwandese homes and also at Moshions. Let's explore.
Looks delicious.
That's nice.
It's good.
So I should tell the people that we are here because he recommended Y&T,
Yes.
which is cocktails and crepes.
Yes.
And this is a wonderful concept.
And the food is something else as well.
Yes.
No, I love it.
This is his recommendation. If you come to Kigali, this is a place to come. I'm having a pork savory crepe with a nice little salad.
Yeah.
And then I have, this is called an African shot. It's got ginger, honey, lemon, and vodka.
I'm having a sweet crepe, and it has vanilla and chocolate. Then it has a Nutella inside, so it's really nice crepe. It tastes so good, and I'm having my virgin mojito.
He's having a version today.
But, just today, just now.
Today.
Yeah, but I love this space. I love the space, how it looks creative. I love the interior. Wow, it's like in the city center, but you feel, at ease. And then outside you have the whole view of the convention center and everything growing in Rwanda, so it gives you hope.
So please tell me how you came up with the name Moshions.
Moises is a brand's name, but it was related to my name as Moses and what I do, fashions. So it's very simple, Moses and fashions.
Yes. I don't know why I didn't put that together. I was like, Moses is moving. Oh my gosh. So please tell us when you started this brand.
I started Motions in 2015. That's when I officially launched the brand. But I've been having passion for fashion, from since some years, even if I didn't discover it at an early age. But 2015 is when I started.
So I need to tell the people that you had the nerve to go to school for civil engineering.
Yeah.
But there weren't any options for you to study fashion design in Kigali.
My educational background is not really in fashion because I did civil engineering, which is strange to hear a civil engineer becoming fashion. But also what I gained from civil engineering, it helps me doing what I'm doing on a certain point. But I did few trainings about fashion because it sounds something I liked, but doing it professionally and being able to conduct a business, I needed some skills. I did a few trainings with creative industry, how to build your own brand and being sustainable. I did some courses with the British Council on the Creative Enterprise Program. I did an apprenticeship with the tailoring, cutting, just having some skills about the tailoring because I was interested. But then I did civil engineering because, you know, most of my friends were doing, and that was my background in secondary school as well. And my parents were like, yeah, you have to be an engineer. And yeah, so I didn't get the career guidance at my early age to be like, you study fashion. But also there was no fashion schools in Rwanda. But all that didn't stop me from doing what I'm doing now, and stop me from dreaming big. And
You've taken this thing to a whole nother level.
I'm so
You
glad.
have.
So humbled. Yeah.
And you're like telling me that you took small steps. You
Yes.
started in college.
I was very patient about it, and I wanted to give it a try at first, so that when I started at university, just from my little apartment at school, just designing my clothes, my own clothes first. Then people around me would be like, "Where did you get that?" And I appreciate the design. I'm like, "Okay, I can get you the same." Go to town, buy fabrics, find my tailor. So after a certain time, the tailor were used to me. Now they're like, I think you're not making your outfits anymore. You're making for somebody else. I was like, yeah, I'm taking it big. So from there I started getting the outfits from my friends. The friend tell another friend. So it started just like that, you know, evolving and patiently seeing how it goes. And yeah, I've been growing from that.
I love when people start at a young age. I love when people start in school because by the time you graduate, you're well on your way. You have a nice foundation under you. So, did you have support from your family to go into fashion?
At the first point, no, because first of all, they didn't understand what I was going to do, like fashion, because they didn't used to see it a lot. Like they just knew there was tailors. So when I told them about the fashion, they were like, "Okay, so you went to school for just being a tailor?" I didn't have a support at all. But then after they realized it's something that I started to do, I invest a lot of energy and, you know, a lot of passion, patience to make it happen. But now it's going well. I'm so happy for where I am now, and now family is supportive, my friends are supportive, so I'm so happy.
And you were also telling me that you do wedding design.
Yes.
And
So Moshions, we have a line for bespoke, and mostly it comes to weddings because we are the brand that started fusing the cultural motifs and cultural dresses to fuse it to the modernity. So we see what was existing, like the Mishanana, the Rwandese tradition wedding, what people wear. It was just always the same thing. So we bring a twist in it, add the beading, the embroidery. So it's something really nice. And then we have people who always want to look different, and we customize the outfits. So a traditional wedding line is more now famous for Motions. It's something recognized on our brand that we do, and we get a lot of people who come to experience the design, have a conversation on their design, on their own outfits. So it's a really good feeling for me as a creative, but also for the people who are willing to wear something different.
I like that you have clients that want to wear something different. I find that as a former stylist,
Yeah.
people wanted to look like whoever was famous. They didn't necessarily want to look like themselves.
Yeah, true.
Wow. So, what is the future for Motions?
I would say I'm also curious because, you know, for me it's always like, you know, I visual as a business guy, but also as a creative. I'd be like, wow, I'm always excited about what am I doing next, you know, like after one collection I'd be like, what is the next collection, how is it going to be? But I see ourselves being a well-recognized brand made in Africa, and with the luxury made in Africa brand, because we're investing a lot energy in quality, fabric selection, attention to details, and details that are reflecting to the identity of Africa, identity of Rwanda. That's what we want to promote, and we want to be recognized on that. And we want to see ourselves in different stores, have our products worldwide. So that's the future for us, and I want to see most of the people wearing our brand.
I like how you express that because you mentioned the words luxury, you also mentioned the words identity. And I like that you're moving into, well, you're mid-range, but you're also moving into luxury,
Yeah.
so that people will pay you for what it's worth.
Yes.
Now, going back to identity, if you could describe Rwandese contemporary fashion, how would you describe it?
I'll describe Rwandese contemporary fashion as a fuse of culture and modernity, because we have like the cultural motifs, we have a lot of inspirations in Rwandan heritage. So if we fuse that to the modernity and embrace today's world, like where the fashion is heading, so that's very contemporary for me. And paying much attention to details, to quality, to the production, from the craftsmanship to the production, to the end of the product. So I see that as a contemporary for me, and that's where we're heading. That's where we're pushing to be recognized. You see, an outfit is made. Well, it's Rwandese because it has the motifs, but it's designed in a very modern style. The quality of a fabric is good. The details, the finishing, so all that together brings it to a very nice contemporary style.
Detail is what I've noticed. It's rather conservative, but the cuts are exquisite and unexpected.
Yeah.
The detail in the beading, where the ethnic fabric is placed,
Yeah.
is really beautiful. And it's just touches. It's just little touches, not overwhelming. Like I have Katenge all over.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's very a bit conservative and modern, but you can still see there is a touch.
And Rwandese are very proud people.
Yeah.
And I like that you're using what is indigenous and bringing it to a contemporary form.
Yeah.
Because you could be using Katenge all day long, and this stuff isn't indigenous to Africa. But what you're wearing
Yeah.
really is.
I'm so glad you love it and you can identify it as well and see where we position like the contemporary Rwandan fashion. And I think it's really good. I'm glad to hear you like it.
So you are participating in the Collective Fashion Week,
Yes.
right? So can you give us just a little sneak peek of what that collection may look like, what it's inspired by?
The inspiration is always about Rwanda. I would like to promote Rwanda as a country, but also now we are relating it to the whole African story. We're touching based on different cultural and heritage in Africa, but to be in our collection. So it will be mostly in patterns, hand beading and tassels and most of the handworks, and then the touch of the colors are mixed now. We have more of colors coming, so it's more of a revolutionary collection, and it's going to be really exciting.
We talked about Rwandan contemporary fashion. How would you define your style?
So Moshions, we make both men's and women's wear. Contemporary style, we love just the details and something subtle, not too obvious, but we always have to see a detail.
Now, you expressed to me that you're from the village. You went to school in the village. I think a lot of people would be surprised. They're probably watching this thinking, oh, he went to school in Paris, blah, blah, blah. But it's really remarkable that you come from rather humble beginnings and you're self-taught.
With my background, where I was born from, it didn't allow me to express it like immediately and be like, I want to be a fashion designer. I didn't even know. But now I'm glad I'm discovering all that, and yeah, it's so cool. It's never too late to start something you like, and yeah. How I'm giving back to the community, we have now a system of working with the local producers. So most of my creative team is local, and now I work with the cooperative of women who do our beading and embroidery. So it's a cooperative that we work with, and they have like around 50 women. And we impact, I would say emotions impact their lives because they get the job to do daily, and then it has changed some of their lives. and then some tailors from the community as well who have their families and they take their kids to school. Then we always be part of that as a family. We do also like charity events and where we visit twice a year some orphanages, and we offer like blankets we made out of the leftover pieces. Then we group it together and we make like nice blankets. So we do that, and we offer the blankets to people in need.
If you weren't a fashion designer, what would you be?
Being an interior designer or architecture, because I love to see changes. I love to see something I can build myself. Be like, okay, I'll design this house this way, different, and see it being implemented. That's why I enjoy what I'm doing.
So, in 3 words, who are you?
Patient, ambitious, and very courageous.
I like that. Patient, ambitious, and courageous. If you could create anything without financial barriers, without naysayers, without client influence, what would it be?
I'll create a fashion hub space. Yeah. Create something where I can gather all the talents and across Africa or continentally or regionally the way I can, and then have a space where people will be able to share their talents and be able to share their work, have the workshops and being able to exercise what they have in their mind. Yeah, and just a creative space, and mostly for fashion.
I was talking to another local designer about how collaboration and sharing is a part of the culture.
Yeah.
And I love how your answer wasn't just about you,
Yeah.
it was about the continent,
Yeah.
sharing and building for the continent.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Off the Beaten Path at Y&T Cocktails and Creperie in Kigali, Rwanda. Stay tuned next week where we continue our foray into fashion here in Rwanda. Cheers.